With all the lies that Donald Trump has given us about the classified papers that were found by the FBI, it's more and more important that Donald Trump be indicted and charged, put to trial, and in prison now more than ever. And quite honestly, it's more than necessary. It's important to the survival of this country, considering everything that's happened over the last few weeks, especially last week with the FBI, where a building in Cincinnati was actually attacked. Well, narrowly escaped attack, let me put it that way, by some psychopath with a gun and a nail gun, which resulted in his own death. Quite honestly, it needs to happen because the truth of what we found out after the raid, especially now it's coming out that Donald Trump ignored a federal subpoena from the Department of Justice months ago, only exacerbates the point that Donald Trump needs to be charged criminally with what happened. Now I'm going to read you all an article from Dave Weisman from the Washington Press. Trump is not above the law, former president or not. So much has happened in the last week that has been revealed from the raid at Donald Trump's home in Mar-a-Lago. Items such as nuclear weapons documents are suspected to have been found. And today, we find out that Trump is also being investigated for espionage and obstruction of justice. Numerous political commentators and politicians are hesitant. Let me back up when I said that. Numerous political commentators and politicians who all owe their allegiance to Donald Trump are hesitant about any potential indictment of Trump because of the precedent that a former indicted commander-in-chief would set. They may be also afraid of retaliation from Trump supporters led by terrorist organizations like the Proud Boys, the Three Percenters, and the Oath Keepers, all of whom had a hand in January 6, 2021. And I, as a veteran who took an oath to defend this country and the Constitution from enemies, foreign and domestic, say that I don't give a fuck. I do not care if he is a former president, nor do I care about the reaction from his cult will be. We are a country governed by the rule of law, under the principle that all men and women are created equal. A country that says no one is above the law. And because of these principles, if the Trump goes through due process, he must be indicted, prosecuted, and sent to prison. Throughout American history, citizens of this great nation of ours have dealt with harsher punishments for crimes that are even less severe than the crimes that Trump has committed. I've said this before, and I will say it again. If Trump walks free from these crimes, that will set an even more dangerous precedent than the indictment of a former president of the United States, because a future president of the United States will feel that if Trump was able to get away with breaking the law now, they can do so in the future. We don't know to whom Trump has shown these nuclear weapons documents to, but it's telling that he is now being investigated for espionage as well as obstruction. Donald Trump is a national security threat, and the Department of Justice must speed up the indictment and prosecution process so he will be unable to run for president or any other office in government in 2024. What kind of message will it send to the world if we allow a candidate with this many potential indictments to run for office? Now, you would think that the rational among us would think that this article is almost hyperbole, but it's not. It's the truth. And I'll explain to you why it's the truth, especially the part where it's a possibility that if Donald Trump gets away with this, even if he doesn't run in 2024, even if that possibility does exist, someone else 10 times worse could run for president and possibly win. Ron DeSantis, maybe. The guy's a wannabe fascist and a wannabe Trumper right there. Ted Cruz, that guy's a psychopathic liar who threw his own damn kids on the bus. All right, I'm not going to get into that. Here are the facts. Trump has lied every single step of the way during this whole thing since the Mar-a-Lago search was done. But even before the Mar-a-Lago search was done, let me put it that way, considering the fact that he ignored a federal subpoena from the DOJ months ago. So this was months in the making, maybe even years in the making. And Donald Trump got his hand caught in the cookie jar, and that's it. All there is to it. Fact is this: every single second that Donald Trump is not held responsible for this, it makes things worse. And to be honest with you, if we don't do something about this now, if Donald Trump isn't criminally charged and brought to trial and imprisoned, someone else, he could run again for 2024, and that's not the end all be all of all this. That's just a bonus of getting him out of the White House, getting him out of our lives. But when it comes to this, we have to show, as this article proved, we have to show that no one in this country is above the law. Nobody. And more to the point, people in this country have been in prison for doing lesser things, minor things, a lot less and less potent than Donald Trump has. This guy is accused of espionage. This guy could be facing life imprisonment, possibly the death penalty, for what happened if we find out where those documents were going, if those documents were classified, and all indications show that they were. Donald Trump has not shown one bit of evidence saying that he declassified those documents. Donald Trump has shown no evidence saying that those documents were minor. He has shown no evidence that, pointing in fact, he has shown no evidence. But all he and his right-wing supporters have done is stoke the fire of hatred to the point where they're in person or online threatening FBI and law enforcement officials. Now, I might have problems with law enforcement. No, I'm not going to stand here and say I don't. However, I will say this: I stand by good cops, good people wearing the badge, and I'm not afraid to talk about any of those who don't. But when it comes down to this, I have never threatened law enforcement officers with death, with murdering their kids, their families. These idiotic Trump supporters have. So right now, Donald Trump needs to be held responsible for all of it. Because if he's not, a lot more lives are going to be lost. And the blame will be on Donald Trump himself, if not on all of us for not stopping him. And as for the Donald Trump supporters out there, real quick before I close this video out, you have the guts to scream threats at law enforcement officers. The very people you scream at me saying, "Back the blue." When you show yourself as a bunch of hypocrites, the hypocrites we know you as. Because every single time you scream, "Back the blue," whilst threatening FBI officers and cops who are investigating Donald Trump for crimes that he may have committed, that shows to me that back the blue crap is nothing much more than crap. It's time for you to stand up and see what Donald Trump is. And if your only recourse is to threaten FBI agents, then you deserve everything you're gonna get. And trust me, let's just see if you want what you're gonna get after that. Donald Trump, one way or the other, is going down for this. The question is, and I'm not even going to give you an option at this point. You made your choice. You're going to go down with him, and none of us are going to throw you a life preserver afterward. The Titanic has hit the iceberg known as Trump, and it's sinking. Very slowly, very slowly, very slowly. And trust me, you'll be begging to die easily and fat and quicker than seeking slowly and slowly. Trust me. You want to die? You want to go down with Trump? Fine. But you're going to have to end up understanding the end of this. Donald Trump is done. Do you want to be done with him? CTP, know the truth. God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right.